Paul, James, you've been here for just over a week. How have your first few days at the club gone?
Come on, you can answer first.
A little bit of a whirlwind, I think. I think it's the normal things, though. You come in with a lot of energy and a lot of excitement, and I think then the logistics hit you. That there's a lot of names, not only in the player group but also the staff group, and you're trying to simulate everything, every bit of information, whilst also preparing for a game in 48 hours time. So it was very hectic. It was trying to find out what each other's skill sets were, how we kind of work together, and trying to make it as smooth as possible in that first couple of days. And in all honesty, I think we did pretty well, but it was a challenge, yeah, but a good one.
You've been brought in to assist Mark Robins as manager. How excited are you about the opportunity to work here and alongside Mark?
Yeah, there's twofold for me. One, it's working with Mark. Watched him from a distance and seen him on the circuit over the years, and then when I was at Newport, loaned a few players off him in my time there, and so looking forward to always like this style of play and the way that he works and operates. And then secondly, for the football club, I think from outside looking in, you have a kind of an idea of what the football club is, but until you're in it, you have no idea how big this football club is. And I think we're all really, really excited, one, to work with Mark, but also to work for the football club and all the fans.
What are your thoughts on the opportunity, Paul?
Yeah, I kind of reiterate what was just said there. I think everybody outside knows, it's almost like a sleeping giant, really, and I think it's just for us to come in and give it that spark that it deserves. As far as working with Mark, I haven't worked with Mark before, but his reputation is very, very of high standing in the game. And that's one of the things that really appeals to me. I think that the job of coaching and working in high-level professional football is very, very difficult and tough. But it's made that a little bit easier if you've got good people and a good environment, and that was what the biggest appeal, and the reputation of the staff here, Mark included, and obviously, that environment that breeds to want to come into work and want to work together to achieve something.
How will that relationship work with Mark, and what roles will you take on individually as assistant managers?
Well, that's kind of developing as we go, really. But there's a mix of things. We've got a big skill set between us of domestic football and international football, and obviously Mark's extreme knowledge of the Championship itself. So I think there's a blend of different things, and I think we can mix. It's not necessarily going to be pigeonholed into one role. I think we have the capacity to work, to have many voices that keep the players on their toes in different circumstances, and I think that's really, really important.
James, you mentioned earlier that you'd worked at Newport County. Can you just give us an insight of your overall experiences so far in the game?
Oh, prior to that, I'd worked with Cardiff for 9 years with 6 different management teams. So within that, a promotion, a relegation, a playoff finish that we did extremely well. So different experiences in that, and understanding what the Championship's like. And then I had opportunities to manage myself at my hometown club, which was something that I've always wanted to do. I've done it. Really enjoyed that time. Probably didn't end like I would have liked it to, but opportunities then come later, and then be able to work with Wales, with Craig and the team there, and now to work at this fantastic football club is I've had some really good experiences, and experiences which have been good and bad, and opportunities to draw from, and hopefully help build and shape the future here.
For you, Paul, you've managed in this country, different countries, different continents. What's that been like?
It's a fantastic experience, and I've always felt that it's that challenge. Coaching is about working with human beings, and human beings are different around the world, and I think it's always been that challenge to go into a different culture, seeing how well you can adapt to get the best out of that group of people. And I think that even when you come home and return home, look at the makeup of a lot of squads across from the Championship up to the Premier League, and players from around the globe, and I think that capacity to connect, understand people's different perspective on things, stand you in good stead. So my travels have challenged me, and just some great experience and some great people I've met along the way.
For you, James, I think you've been a coach mentor with the Welsh FA, and including mentoring Ryan Shawcross. What did that sort of role entail, and what did you make of the kind of job that Ryan Shawcross did in the interim?
I think firstly with Ryan's a Stoke legend, isn't he, from what he's done here before, and the games that he took against Fleetwood previously, and then the last 2 games that he took in the Championship. I think that he tried to epitomise what the Stoke fans are about, and I think that was really clever of him, and intelligent of him to do that, and go back to almost basics is the wrong word, because I think supporters and fans and owners of football club expect a bare minimum of hard work, but Ryan really brought that back to life. And that's not saying what happened before was wrong with that, but Ryan gives that and gives that extra spark within that, and he can bring that because he's been there and done it himself. And then the thing with Ryan, from his point of view, he just wants to learn and develop. I have no doubt that one day Ryan will be a fantastic manager, and part of his journey are all these different experiences that he's done during this time.
How key will that relationship be between you guys and him as under-21's head coach?
Yeah, I think Paul hit the nail on the head about... we talk about footballers, and we talk about staff, and we talk about different ways of work, but ultimately we're all people, right? And we all want to be happy in what we do. And whether it's Ryan or whether it's Dougie in the kitchen or whether it's Alec on security, whoever that might be, I think we treat everybody the same. And I think that's what's really important to us, that's us being authentic with that. And I think that's one thing hopefully we'll do here, is that we'll treat everybody with the same amount of respect. And what's important for us with the relationship with Ryan and the 21s team, but that's not just with Ryan, that's with Chopper, with Gaz Owen, with Lenny, with Hibbo, with Darren Potter. We'll work closely together because we ultimately want homegrown players coming through our football club and playing in our first team. Because as we know, for fans, there's nothing better than singing "He's one of our own." And that's what we want to try and do here.
If people look at your Wikipedia, it says that you're linked to Tony Pulis. Can you just tell us what that relationship is, and is he someone that you've spoken to over the years?
Yeah, the link is my mum is and Debbie, who's Tony's wife, are cousins, and so they're very very close. So they'll speak together on the phone every day. And I can remember coming here when I was first starting my coaching journey, and Tony, and watching his teams and going and watch him, and whether it was at Portsmouth or here or wherever he was working. But he's someone I can bounce on and kind of look for advice on from, and he's very helpful with that. I spoke to him, I texted him to let him know I was coming in, and then I spoke to him on Monday morning on my way into work, and give me some solid advice, let's say.
You're working alongside Alex Morris and Darren Beshett. What have they been like to work with over the past few days?
They've been brilliant, to be honest, very welcoming, as all the staff had been, and it's sometimes kind of spinning out in the head. Sometimes it's difficult for the people in situ when a new group come in, and I think our role was to try and make them feel as comfortable as possible with us coming in, show us what type of people we are, show them the basic outline of what we want and the things we think the club need and the fans want. And just get that alignment. Alignment is the biggest thing. From, as James said, from the top of the senior team through the academy, if you get that alignment and understanding where this club wants to go, then if you can alleviate any kind of obstacles and egos on that way, it makes it much easier to do. So I'm hopeful that the two that you mentioned feel that they're very much an integral part of this group that's been assembled together. So I think they're a really important part of the senior coaching team.
From the first few days on the training pitch, what have you made of the quality within the squad? Yeah,
I think it's been good, and obviously it's a fresh set of staff, so everybody's up their game and wants to impress. Obviously, the time that we've come in within a window as well, there's going to be lots of doubt in people's heads of where they stand and things like that. So we're very aware of the scenario and that kind of unique window that we've entered into. So hopefully we can show that we want to demand of every player. Every player is valued, and they're going to be assessed over this next period of time. And they're all very aware that they want to be part of this journey. We've made it very clear where we want to go. So it's been good. The reaction from the players, both on the pitch and off the pitch, has been really good and positive. So hopefully we can get a real good result the weekend, and moving forward, build on that.
It's quite a young squad here at Stoke City. What are the challenges and opportunities associated with that?
I think the opportunities, first of all, if we go back to what Ryan started to integrate in the 2 games previously, is our work ethic to ensure that we work hard for ourselves, but also then our supporters of the football club. And I think we've got to go, and first and foremost, we've got to try and outrun, outfight, outduel every opportunity we can when we come against any opposition. And I think supporters want to see fast attacking progressive football, and that's what we've got to try and give, and that's what we've got to try and implement in this young squad. And the basis for us, whether we work as hard as we do every day, and the players will work hard every day. And I think that's probably the bare minimum. once we get that bare minimum, then we can keep adding building blocks and adding the work to that. And I think hopefully that's what we'll see even more now over these next couple of weeks.
With a squad with different ages and different backgrounds, how much will you draw on your own experiences, Paul, to help them develop?
Yeah, well, I think I've had a really broad experience. I've done a lot of youth development, so bringing players through from age 16 into first team environments, working closely with the under-21 managers, and then to the top end of, working with the country's elite, when I was with England, with Gareth Southgate, and going to World Cups and Euros. You know what performance means at the very highest level, and what that demands of a player, not only physically, but really importantly, mentally. So I think those experiences, and when you're delivering, you can refer to situations and players that they might either look up to or acknowledge the work at the top level, and see their attributes can align with that and on their journey. And I think that's that thing of me connecting what those capabilities are, and giving them access to progress along that line, in line with some of the players I've seen and worked with at the top levels.
With your time at the English FA, how much has that helped you to hit the ground running? Because quite a few of the young players have come through that pathway.
Yeah, so obviously I was with 4 years working with the senior end, and then when Gareth left in the summer, I actually left working with the seniors and was asked to stay on and take the under-20s. So I did 3 camps with the under-20s. And fortunately, that's I got to meet and work with Ash Phillips and Emery Tesgel. So I'd already had a little touch with them, and obviously goalkeeper as well that's on loan, Tommy Simpkin at Walsall. So there was 3 Stoke players that I'd already known when I came in the door, which is always nice. So yeah, that was a fantastic experience. Working with those young players, getting the level, giving them good outline to what they can do as a team, but also as an individual, as part of a unit. So it's breaking things down, trying to make as much clarity within this game so they can learn as easily as possible. And I mean, my previous club, I've just been in France, in Strasbourg, which we had a really, really young squad, which was pretty much an under-23 team playing in Liga in France. So, I've had recent experience of working with a very young group en masse as well. So I think I learned a lot from that experience. And as I said, with the 20s, how to structure sessions and help the learning so they can progress more quickly.
Early in the week, the coaching staff and the players went out on a bonding exercise. How useful was that?
I think it's always to see people in different environments. It's useful to see how they interact, not just the players, but also all the staff. I think it was a really valuable exercise to see that, whether it was from the mini golf, the darts, or the table tennis, which I'm not very good at any of them. But I think it was good to see some of the lads in a different environment, and to see who's who and who interacts with who, and how the staff interact and the players interact was really useful.
In terms of the work that you've done on the training pitch this week, what's that look like, and what will it look like for the rest of the week heading into the match on Saturday?
I think it's a lot about principles. So just kind of say what we expect in certain situations of the game, and breaking that down. And as I said, it's always about clarity when you come in, and trying to give them packaged information so it makes sense. So as clean as you can, concise as you can be. And then once we've got that basic outline of what we want in different areas of the pitch, then we can start to layer on the detail specific to that individual player's profile as well. So it's very early days. We kind of laid the outline, and now we're going to start, the work really starts from tomorrow going forward, really. Initially, what we really want is that commitment to, the out of possession as well. Being really, really disciplined, aggressive at the right moments, being able to win the ball back high up the pitch if possible. And then the biggest component for me is when we get that, it's the decision making. We want to play, we want to dominate games with the ball, but we don't want to do that just for the sake of keeping it. We want to dominate in the right areas, but always be a threat to penetrate and create chances in the box. That's the biggest thing. So towards this weekend, that's what I want to be working on, and hopefully we can create a lot of chances and be a little bit more clinical than possibly the last game.